I love movies. There's something about everything coming together to make this piece of art that really speaks to me. From cinematography to soundtrack, score, sound effects, acting, script writing, and literally everything else in between. It's all incredible on its own, and the fact that everything is put together in one medium is truly incredible. And there's no better example than 2024's It's What's Inside. It's What's Inside is a movie about a friend's reunion that goes awry after little body switching shenanigans. While the concept of the movie isn't the most groundbreaking, revolutionary thing, it's done so incredibly well that there's no way to describe this film except it's a modern day masterpiece. So yeah, that's what this video is. We're gonna be talking about movies. We need to talk about something pretty important. Where you watch your movie, series, YouTube video, whatever, does play a big part in the experience. Some things were meant to be viewed on a large IMAX cinema screen, and some things do look better watched on your smartphone. Not everything looks the same when viewed on different devices, and you can't automatically assume something is better simply because it's bigger. That's what a lot of IMAX fans get wrong. Just because it's in IMAX doesn't mean that it's automatically going to be better, because some movies weren't shot firstly with IMAX cameras, and secondly were never meant to be shown on that screen. Okay, so I'm gonna talk about the 4 main categories I have. This isn't just about screen size, it's about things like view distance and legibility and just the way you see things. Starting off, at the smallest, you get a smartphone. Smartphones aren't really used to record movies. There have been a couple that use phone footage, but it's like few and far between, and you don't see it as often. But yeah, so the small form factor means you can break up your movie in bits and pieces. Some movies desperately need to be broken up into bits and pieces for a proper viewing experience. Something like Jujutsu Kaisen 0, that needs to be watched in 3 pieces because that's 3 acts. And it feels better to watch it as semi-episodes instead of watching the entire movie as one big go. Second is a monitor, like a computer monitor that you're sitting face to face with. I prefer personally to watch a movie on a monitor over a TV. That's just because the monitor feels a little bit crisp and I have more direct control because I am sitting at my desk and watching the movie. I use a 21:9 monitor, which is perfect for most theatrical release movies, and I do watch most of my stuff on there. I do try to view it in what I believe would be the best format, in the best conditions to enjoy the experience. But if it's a movie I'm just watching just off the cuff, I'll usually watch it on the monitor. 3 is like a home TV. That could be a smaller 4x5 TV, but I like just the TV you have in your lounge that you sort of watch things with other people. That is what I mean. It can be anything like that. So just the standard TV you have in your lounge. It's more for communal viewing because of the bigger screen, but it also is a far better way, and yeah, it's a different experience. None of them is better than the other, but some of them are the more preferred. And then the last one is in a cinema, like a movie house. A lot of people think this is the best way to view movies because of the bigger screen and stuff. It's not. Some movies, firstly, need to be broken up. Like, there's no chance I'm watching Avatar 2 without a break. It's not a good experience watching it like that, because if I'm thinking about going to the bathroom or getting something more to eat, I'm not focusing on the movie. But for a lot of movies, this is the definitive way that they are supposed to be seen, especially major blockbusters. Mid-range stuff really goes either way, but if you can see the big movie in the cinema, maybe try to do that. But again, it's not the best experience out there. I do find that watching older movies, well, not old movies, but movies from the early 2000s, do not work great on the cinema unless they were edited to be on them. Like Miss Congeniality, that is a house movie, right? I watched it in the cinema because of a re-release, and the only thing I can say is that is a house movie. That's a movie you watch in your home, right? On the opposite side, I watched Dune Part 2 at home when it was clearly meant to be viewed on the big screen. So I didn't get the full experience. Besides from that, I'll speak about Doom later. So, okay, wait. This isn't me shilling my letterbox. If you want to check it out, here you go. But I need to explain how my letterbox works to make things maybe a little bit more clear as to why the ratings are the way they are. A half a star is either a movie that I couldn't finish because of one reason or another, or is a movie that I don't think anyone should see. There's something in it that I personally don't see the value of it being in a movie. Now, on the flip side of that is my 5-star reviews. 5-star reviews are movies that are not technically perfect, or that aren't perfect, but there's something in them that makes them feel specifically made for me. Okay, let's go through some examples and I'll explain what I mean. We're gonna go low and then we're gonna go high. Okay? Starting off, number 1, it's got a half a star review on my letterbox. It's Paolo Alto. The only way I can explain what this movie feels like to watch is watching an incomplete YouTube video, like watching someone's footage that they sort of edited together, and then this is what came out. Firstly, it's a terrible movie, right? It's got a really good cast, a really, like, stacked cast. Emma Roberts, Jack Kilmer, Nat Wolff, Val Kilmer, and a young Margaret Qualley. The movie was even made by Gia Coppola, who directed Mainstream with Andrew Garfield and Maya Hawke, but here's the thing, the movie doesn't, nothing really happens. Nat Wolff is an asshole and gets his comeuppance at the end, and that's the only sort of resolved storyline that we actually have. Everything else is just this blurry mess that this movie ended up being. It's fucking terrible. I don't understand why it's got the prestige it does. It's not a good movie. Let's do another half star. Mother Android with Chloe Grace Moretz. It's a very, very boring movie. Clearly someone played The Last of Us and thought, we can make similar vibes. And they really didn't. They missed the entire point. The movie is fine and watchable right up until the end, where it becomes the most egregious American military propaganda that I've ever seen. And, like, I've seen Saving Private Ryan. That is military propaganda to its T. And this was even somehow more blatant than that. Next, let's talk about the 5 stars. Civil War. This movie isn't perfect. The movie focuses on journalists going to Washington, D.C. during a civil war where the new president is just being a fuckwit. The movie stars Kirsten Dunst, Wagner Moura, Kylie Spaney, I think that's how you say it, Stephen Henderson, and Nick Offerman. I do like that they essentially have a Kai W. Locke stand-in for this movie, which is really fun. If you don't know what Kai W is, he's one of the greatest YouTubers to ever exist. He worked for Red Letter Media for a while, and now he's doing his own thing. If you want to check him out, it's really good, especially if you're into photography. But the characters, Tony and Bohai, yeah, they sort of function as their dynamic, which is really amazing to see. I don't really think it was intentional, but I hope it is. A photography heavy movie, and it's something I'm genuinely passionate about, especially photojournalism. So yeah, it wasn't for everyone, it was for me. Next, Neon Genesis Evangelion. Anime was always going to be in my top. I watched a hell of a lot of anime. To watch this, you do have to watch 24 episodes of the original show. The last episode you can skip it because it doesn't do much in terms of anything. But this movie completes the story. It does expand a lot on what's happened. But you have to know the characters and at least on some way know what's going on to understand the movie. Yeah, it is a series end movie. A big portion of why I like it is because the series is very good as well. There's no way I can explain why it's that good. It deconstructs the medium near the end. The religious allegories in the movie, really do work really well. If you want to give it a shot, give it a shot. The first scene in the movie, just please. It is necessary for the plot, I understand, but it is also one of the most disturbing things, and it frames a character in terrible light, which he needs to be. He's a terrible person, and like that's the point. But it's genuinely hard to watch, so just be prepared for that. The dubbing is very good. If you don't like subtitles, you can watch the dub. Very fine. The end little piece, though, there is a little bit of an issue with like overlapping voices, so the sub it gets a bit messy, but the dub is clears that up. So if you want to just watch like the movie in sub until the breakdown starts, you'll know when it starts, and then when it's done, you can switch back to sub. And then the last movie I want to talk about is Sorry to Bother You. I want to speak about this because it explains why my half star and 5 stars that don't really speak about the movie's quality and more just my personal feelings about it. I worked in a call center for years of my life, and I can tell you the depiction of it pretty accurate. Like the personalities in that call center was pretty accurate compared to what I went through. Now, the movie is about unionization and one person's loss of identity. Watch it, like really watch it. Like sit down, get your popcorn and watch it. It's not for everyone. There's a couple of scenes that's gonna make people very uncomfortable, and it gets very weird near the end. But watch it. Yeah, this and Neon Genesis Evangelion gets really weird near the end. But anyway, watch it and have a good time. Yeah, that the party scene is really good. Also, take that age rating for all of the movies I told you very seriously, because those age ratings are there for a reason. Please. The cinema movie experience is dead. Movie tickets have gotten so expensive in the last 10 years that going to the movies at this point is like a no-go for anyone that has like reasonable spending habits. If you have like a decent perception of how much you can spend in a month, you're not going to the cinema. The movie tickets are crazy expensive, and the snacks as well. It's a non-viable option, which is why I've started doing these throwback movies. They're like a third of the price of a normal movie ticket. And then I just won't eat anything, so I'll go to a movie and have a good time. And for about 5 times less than the normal price that I would spend on a new release. And I also pick the movies that I enjoy and guaranteed have a good time with. Also, the cinema's empty, so it's a really good experience. A full cinema sucks. I know that's a controversial take to some people. I really don't want to hear you chewing on your popcorn and having a conversation during the movie. But we do need to talk about something. Movies, or the movie house, is so unsanitary that it makes me not want to go. Like they sweep up between each movie, fine. But they never wipe down the seat and the seat rest. So everyone that sat there, like their germs and stuff, is on the seat. It's disgusting. I'm sorry. When I go to movies, I'll wear like a jacket with a hood and put the hood up during the movie just so that no part of me touches the seat. Is it really that hard to run a rag over a seat? And more than that, right? So the movies in the movie house now are these big blockbuster things. Where are the mid-range movies? I understand that movies that were originally direct to TV or direct to video are now mostly on streaming services. So I would like to think of it like this. There's direct to DVD or direct to TV movies, right? Then there's your mid-range movie, and then there's your blockbuster. That middle part, this middle part right here, it's not in the cinema anymore. It's on streaming, and I'm sorry, I'm very sorry, but some of these movies would be great in the cinema. Why aren't they there? I watched Death at a Funeral when I was a teenager, and that's a mid-range movie that is truly incredible. It's not a blockbuster. It's not like, excuse my video game term, it's not a AAA movie. It doesn't have this giant budget, right? But that is the type of movie you want to see in the cinema. If they had to make it today, it would have been a Netflix special. I don't want to see that. Now let's break down the current cinema lineup, and it's been like this at my local cinemas almost always guaranteed. Some cinemas do have a little thing that they specialize in, like there's a cinema at N1 City in Cape Town that usually will show a horror movie in their lineup, right? And then there's B&A, which will show art house movies, but also not the good art house movies. They would show the boring art house movies, like the type of movies that Insufferable Friend recommends you. That's like an hour and a half of a guy sitting in a chair. It's not something you want to watch. Okay, so let's talk about this. We'll go superhero movie, Marvel, DC. Usually there's one playing at all times. Currently it's Fantastic Four. That Superman is also in that lineup. A generic action movie, which is like your Fast and the Furious, Mission Impossible, that sort of thing, right? You'll get a sub-action movie, which is usually a thriller. Sometimes you'll get a horror, but it's never like a creepy horror. It's like a blockbuster horror. It's weapons. It's things like that. It's not the substance, right? It's Conjuring Lost Rites. It's Annabelle. And then after that, you'll get a kids movie. There's always a kids movie playing. Even if there's no kids movie, they're gonna put a kids movie there, right? I get it. Kids draw a big crowd. Then you'll get a babies movie, which is, I don't understand why people take kids that young to the cinema. It's not it. I don't want to hear a baby crying in the movie, right? And then there's a local movie. Now, I live in the north of Cape Town. The local movie is usually an Afrikaans movie. It is not Tsotsi. It is not Four Corners, which were two of the most incredible pieces of cinema to ever exist. It is like Leon Schuster, I Do Black Place, Leon Schuster, or a very Afrikaans movie. I understand a lot of people like them. I'm not one of those people. And I know I shouldn't lament that someone enjoys something that I don't. But it's a slot that could be filled up with a better movie that it's just not going to be. And then they'll run these movies incredibly long. I don't know why a movie would be in the cinema for 2 months, but it does. And then they will kill a movie in 2 weeks, like they did a 2-week showing of a movie, and that is it. We got nothing else. Why do you think piracy has become a big thing now? People are going to pirate things now. So these are just some of the things that make me fall in love with cinema and what I've observed after watching so many movies. This medium really is my passion. I hope you found at least some of the things I spoke about interesting or useful. My experience isn't the same as anyone else's. Everyone experiences this in a unique way, and that is the beauty of movies.